A says ah. A says ah. Every letter makes a sound. A says ah. B says b. B says b. Every letter makes a sound. B says b. C says k. C says k. Every letter makes a sound. C says k. D says d. D says d. Every letter makes a sound. D says d. E says e. E says e. Every letter makes a sound. E says e. F says f. F says f. Every letter makes a sound. F says f. G says g. G says g. Every letter makes a sound. G says g. H says h. H says h. Every letter makes a sound. H says h. I says I. I says I. Every letter makes a sound. I says I. J says j. J says j. Every letter makes a sound. J says j. K says k. K says k. Every letter makes a sound. K says k. L says L says Every letter makes a sound. L says M says M says Every letter makes a sound. M says N says N. N says N. Every letter makes a sound. N says N. O says ah. O says ah. Every letter makes a sound. O says ah. P says p. P says p. Every letter makes a sound. P says p. Q says qu. Q says qu. Every letter makes a sound. Q says qu. R says R says Every letter makes a sound. R says S says s. S says s. Every letter makes a sound. S says s. T says t. T says t. Every letter makes a sound. T says t. U says U says Every letter makes a sound. U says V says v. V says v. Every letter makes a sound. V says v. W says w. W says w. Every letter makes a sound. W says w. X says x. X says x. Every letter makes a sound. X says x. Y says y. Y says y. Every letter makes a sound. Y says y. Z says z. Z says z. Every letter makes a sound. Z says z.